Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Obon Service here at the San Jose Betswing. As we begin this morning's service, we will have a presentation by the San Jose Betswing's choir under the direction of Elaine Jones. So let's see. So Thank you, San Jose Choir. Unfortunately, we lost the video signal, but hopefully you were able to hear the gata as it was presented. At this time, we'd like to read Shoshinge. We'll begin with Sambujo, followed by Hyobyakumon, and then Shoshinge. So if you please join us in the reading of Shoshinge. Today on this occasion of the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsing's Obon Service, the members of the Betsing have reverently come before me, the Buddha, with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages.
như nay hệ sư sư Tom shi ren yen zo sen ngai Som sho shin yo sho jim Như bon na rin yen jin zut Như sho ji on ji yo get Hon shin don nan yo ten shik Jo koran sho bo satsu rai San zo ru shi ju jo kyo Bon jo sen yo ki raku ho Ten jin bo sa ron chun ye Ho do hi na ken sei nan O gen ne ko yu ta rik Sho jo shi in yui shin jin Waku zen bon bu shin jin bo Shoji soku ne han Hishi muryo komyo no Shohu shujo kai buket Do chan ke sho no nan sho Yui myo jo no katsu nyu Manzen jiriki hen won shu Emman toku no kansen sho Sampu san shin ke on on Zomatsu hometsu do in Isho zo aku chingu sei Shihan yo ai shomyo ka Zendo no kumyo busho i Ko ai jo san yo nyaku wa Komyo myo mo kei hinen Kai nyu hongan dai chikai Kyo sho nyu kong o shin Kyo ki ichinen so on ko Yo inai to nyaku san nin Soku sho ho sho shi jorak Kenshin go kai ichi nai kyo Henki anyo kai isai Senzo shushi an senjin Hoken ido shoben ryuk Goku ju akunin yui shomutsu Gayaku zai se shuchu Bon no shonen sui funyen Dai muken josho ga Hon shingen kumyo bukyo Renmin zenmaku bonbu ni Shin yo shoko henshu Senjaku hongan gu akusei Gennai shoji rin renge Kechi gi jo i shoshi Soku nyu jaku jomu irak Ichi shinji hino nyu Gukyo nai jishu shito Josai muhen goku joku
Again, good morning. Thank you for joining us for this morning's Obon Service. Will you please join now in the reading of the three treasures in the BC service book on page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, become units of true accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. This morning, we are very happy to welcome Reverend Hayashi to be our guest speaker for this morning. Reverend Nariaki Hayashi is a minister of the Ekoji Buddhist Temple. It is his first BCA assignment. But before sending him on this wonderful journey at the Ekoji Temple, Reverend Hayashi trained here at the Betsing. And so his portrait is on our back wall. We have all the ministers, and we have all the ministers who spend time here at the Betsing, and his photo is back there with Mukojima Sensei, and I think there's a couple of more ministers that are back there. I can't remember his name now. Torimi Sensei. Torimi Sensei is also back there. But these are ministers who now serve in BCA or have returned to Japan to serve at their home temples. Hayashi Sensei and I share a common kind of background. Both he and I were born in Hawaii. So Sensei grew up for the first 8 years of his life. Grew up in Hawaii and attended the services at the Honolulu Betsuing, and also attended the mission school in Hawaii. The mission school has changed quite a bit from his time when he was a student there. But we're happy that he is able to join us this morning. I want to welcome and invite Sensei to join us. I'm kind of, again, it's I have, I think it's something that is a part of my character that everything crashes around me. All the technology that we have crashes around me. And I want to first of all get, where is it? 고맙네. When we, Sensei, are you here? Are you?
Yes,
There you are. Okay. So, thank you again for joining us today. Onegaishimasu. Thank you.
good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. As introduced, my name is Nari Hayashi, and I'm currently serving at the Ekoji Buddhist Temple in Virginia, Northern Virginia. So I'm on the East Coast. First, I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to Sakamoto Sensei and Yukame Sensei and the Sangha for inviting me to participate in your Obon service this year. So being on the East Coast, it takes time, days, and of course, a lot of money to travel to the West Coast. But the development of the virtual technology we have today made it possible for me to be part of your Obon service and share my thoughts on the Buddhist teachings. So today we observe our annual Obon service. And as you know, Obon is a memorial day during which we remember our loved ones and others who have passed on before us. As we remember those who passed on before us, we express our gratitude for all they had done for us to make our individual lives possible. Our founder, Shinran Shonin, once said, "The path that I'm walking on is not the result of just my efforts, but of that of many before me." Thus, my life comes to be because of the life of others before me, and it is not an exaggeration to say that without the lives of others, I would not exist. Therefore, Obon is a moment to reflect on our ancestors, loved ones, and those who have came before us and express our gratitude towards them. Another aspect of Obon is that if an Obon service is to remember those who have passed on, it is no less a moment to reflect on and consider about the truth of death. Buddhism is based on the truth of impermanence. So nothing in this world stays forever. Everything is subject to change. Thus, from the moment of birth, we keep changing every minute and every second. It is stated in the Nikaya Sutra, there are 5 things which no one can accomplish in this world. The first is to cease growing old when growing old. The second, cease being sick when getting sick. The third, cease dying when dying. The fourth, to deny extinction when there is extinction. And last, to deny exhaustion when there is exhaustion. Therefore, along with aging and illness, death is inevitable and will eventually come to all of us. In addition, death occurs regardless of age and time. For example, the COVID has taken away the life of many people, young and old alike. Among those young kids who have died, there were not only kids in the high-risk category, but also those who had no health problems. Thus, nobody can know when death will occur to us. As it is in the reading of the White Ashes written by our 8th Master Renyo, whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or whether it be tomorrow, who is to know? Those who leave before us are as countless and as fragile as the drops of dew. Though we may have radiant health in the morning, in the evening we may be white ashes. Thus, it is not an exaggeration to say that the whole purpose of Buddhism is to enable us to see and accept death as a natural part of life. Reverend Takemura, a high scholar of Shin Buddhism, once said, "A Buddha is a complete human, and a human is an incomplete Buddha." A Buddha is a complete human, and a human is an incomplete Buddha. We say that Buddhism is a path to become a Buddha, but from this passage, we can understand that Buddha is not a credential that is proof of higher status to be achieved, nor is it a way to become the perfect figure dressed in a glorious robe with a gorgeous halo that is the embodiment of the Buddha in paintings and sculptures. To become a Buddha means to become truly human. You might think I'm already a human. But to become truly a human in a Buddhist sense is to become a human that can see death along with every other occurrences of life as they are. I am reminded of the children's book, The Fall of Freddie the Leaf, written by Leo Buscaglia. When Freddie the Leaf saw how his friends' leaves started to fall from the branch to the ground one by one, he expresses to his friend Leaf, Daniel, his fear of death. Then Daniel tells Freddie, "We all fear what we don't know, and that is natural. Yet, you were not afraid when spring became summer. You were not afraid when summer became fall. They were natural changes. Why should you be afraid of the season of death?" However, although death is a natural part of life, it is still not something we like to think about. Even as a minister who conducts funerals for many people, it is still something hard to think about. It is because, as Daniel said to Freddie, we all fear what we don't know. The state of human death has always been obscured by mystery, and its precise definition remains controversial, and its nature remains incomprehensible. Since death remains incomprehensible, and that there is no accurate answer to what it is, we often feel uncomfortable with it or negative towards it. We often see life and death as two separate things and tend to value only life. However, Shakyamuni Buddha teaches us that life and death are not separate occurrences. Death is happening to us all the time. Death is not something that comes to us, but is with us from the moment of our birth. In the Flower Garden Sutra, it is stated, "Inherently, there are no distinctions between the process of life and the process of destruction. People make a discrimination and call one birth and the other death." Therefore, life is death and death is life. They are in the same realm. We are taught that it is our bias that sees them as two separate things. Thus, Buddha says, those who do not embrace death will not know the true meaning of life. Therefore, the Buddhist teachings encourages us to see life and death as equal. In order for us to embrace death and life as one, we must accept the fact that there are things that are inconceivable. In other words, we must become aware of our limitations. In fact, in life, there are things that cannot be fully explained. For instance, I have a friend who lost his father. This friend's father died, leaving instructions that he be cremated. In addition, the father asked his family to spread his ashes out on the ocean. So my friend took the ashes and waded into the water up to his thighs. And when he spread out the ashes on the water, something unusual happened. The ashes formed a circle, and the circle swirled around his legs before washing out the sea. It was as if his father was embracing him one last time before going away. My friend understands that this could have been the trick of the tide, but the event moved him deeply regardless. For him, it did not matter if the event might have a reasonable or a logical explanation. It is enough that it happened. In Shin Buddhism, Shinran Shonin often emphasizes the nature of Amida Buddha as to be inconceivable. You can find many statements in his writings. For example, in the hymns of the Pure Land, he states, "The majestic light transcending form is beyond description. Thus, Amida is called Buddha of inexpressible light. All the Buddhas praise this light, the cause by which Amida's Buddhahood was fulfilled." In the Shoshinge, which we chanted this morning, he says, "Take refuge in the light of Amida that surpasses all thoughts and ideas." Nenyo, the eighth master of Shin Buddhism, also follows Shinran's view and says, "Inconceivable is the only word to describe the vow of Amida. Inconceivable, beyond thought, and ineffable." These statements are generally taken to refer to the greatness and vastness of the power of Amida Buddha's vow, but can also be taken as Shinran and Nenyo's acknowledgement of how there are things that we cannot completely know. That is to say, we are limited in our knowledge and so limited in how far we can know about the unknowable. However, even though Amida Buddha is to the end inconceivable, we engage Amida Buddha by chanting sutras, practicing the Buddhist rituals, and listening to the Dharma every week. So we may find Amida Buddha incomprehensible, but not uncomfortable. Rather, we constantly find great meaning in the Dharma because of our continuous engagement of Amida Buddha in these various ways. If Amida Buddha is inconceivable, no less is death. Like the Dharma, we should have the same attitude towards death as well. We need to engage death by repeatedly revisiting it. And this is why we have memorial services like today's Obon service. By constantly engaging with our loved ones, we can find great meaning of not only life, but also death that can bring an ease of heart during our healing process. Indeed, it is the guidance of our loved ones and all those deceased who have shown to us the true nature of life through their loss of it that brings us to become truly human. I would like to conclude with Gasho. Please join me in Gasho. By reciting the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are also reminded the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Nammanda Butsu. Nammanda Butsu. Nammanda Butsu.
Sensei, thank you so much for being a part of our Obon service today and sharing with us your message of hearing, listening to the teachings, even if though things seem incomprehensible, there's still meaning and significance in that. What we experience, we simply have to return and deepen our understanding and our appreciation of what we share with one another to become truly human. I think we forget sometimes that Buddhism is not about something kind of mysterious or something magical. It's simply about becoming human, most human. Thank you again for sharing that message with us this morning. This concludes this morning's Obon service. Thank you everyone for joining us, and especially thank you Hai Sensei for being with us this morning. We have of course Mikame Sensei as always with us this morning, and we have unexpected technical support through Mas Nishimura is lurking in the background somewhere. He kind of popped up this morning and has been working on things and trying to resolve some of the difficulties or challenges, I should say, that we've had. And so thank you, Mas, for helping us with that. So please be safe, everyone. Next week, we go back to our regular summer schedule, 10 o'clock Sunday morning services. Please be safe, get vaccinated. Hopefully, we'll be able to kind of work our way through this very challenging times. Once again, will you please join in Gassho as we conclude this morning's service. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.